Hi, Jon. Hi, Gabby.
Hey, Ash.
Hello. How are you guys doing today?
Same as ever, I guess.
Long
Yeah.
week, work,
Work.
more work.
Yeah,
Lot
I
of
know
work.
you guys are both so busy.
Yeah. Feels honestly like really never ending.
Yeah.
You know,
And then that
between-
thing with the repairman and that mess, we have this giant mess in our kitchen. Like,
insanity.
one simple sink repair turned into like your garbage disposal is done. And after that happened, now there's got to be some update to the code. So, I mean,
It just never ends.
Housework
just a
always
giant
seems
mess.
to be never ending.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
getting expensive. It's just
Once you
yeah.
clean the toilet, next thing you know, it's been a week, you gotta clean the toilet again. Sweep the floor before I leave to work, sweep it when I come home. There's just not enough hours in a
The
day.
beauty about it, though, is when it's done, it feels so good, right?
Yeah,
That end
Yeah.
result is usually always worth it.
yeah.
All that hard work that goes into it, when you finally get that visualization of all of that hard work, you're just like, ugh.
Well,
I'm
and
so
it's
happy
it's
with
nice
that.
to have a home. I want us to get to that point where we can
Yeah.
feel like we're in the home together,
Like it's
you
home
know?
that you're sharing together.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to get a maid, but she's not quite there yet because that visualization of the big
I
thing.
just get
would be
worried,
wonderful.
you know, that I get worried the maid will come in and judge me for being disgusting, or like, I don't know, can we really realistically afford someone coming in, you
Yeah.
know? The money's it's not tight, we're comfortable, but what if we do get tight and then
Just
now
feel
we're
like
out of the
it's an extra
routine.
expense.
Yeah, I just worry, but you know, I know realistically he's probably a little bit right.
Yeah, well, that's something to discuss. You know, everyone would like a maid, right? Who doesn't like to have cleaning
Or
done
maybe
for
it's just me
them?
being lazy, but something like it's just I'm so sick of things. Like she was saying, sweep the floor. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Gotta sweep the floor again. Okay, great. Gotta sweep the floor again. Okay, gotta scrub the toilet again. And I get that that's responsibility. Like
Yeah.
we have every right not to clean the toilet, but I mean Taco Tuesday.
Everyone loves
You
Taco
know,
Tuesday.
but
Everybody
nobody
loves
loves the day after. So I guess the
True,
point
true
is,
that.
it's just I don't know. Something's got to change.
Yeah.
I think it's a rational feeling though, because you guys do work a lot, so sometimes the house can go, you know, one of those things that you kind of put on the back burner. So if it is affordable and if it is within the budget, you know, maybe that's something to explore with one another. It would be one less thing to take off, and you know, it's an added stressor. So if that could alleviate some stress between the two of you, maybe that's something, you know, that we can discuss further. Something that we can at least explore.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think. Yeah. You guys are right. It's tough.
You know, and I want to commend you guys for coming in, you know, taking that first step. You know, sometimes it's nerve-wracking, kind of exposing yourself to being vulnerable, to talk about the heavy stuff, you know, that goes on between one another. And it's a big deal just being able to come here and take a seat on this couch. And
Well, I
open
mean, the
yourself
work,
to that.
it's only hard because it's not like there's anything wrong.
Yeah,
Like we don't fight,
Yeah. No.
and
yeah.
we're not in a bad place?
And-
Question mark. It's just like we come in the door after work, and it's just like
Yeah.
We're
Pace
very
up.
complacent, you know. And when we do fight, I will say it's not like it goes great. We don't have the best communication skills on that end, but we don't do it often. And I also like sometimes I feel like, well, why are we not fighting? Are we not fighting because we're happy, or are we not fighting because there's no conversation to be had? You
yeah.
know?
No, I hear that, and it's like you don't wanna. I'm not looking to get a divorce or anything,
Yeah.
and I'm not looking to
No.
like meet
'Cause
somebody
I'm not
else.
miserable either.
Right. It's just like, you know, couples that have been together for a while, you're like, sometimes it's.
There's no excitement.
Right.
And
Yeah.
on top of all that, like you said that you thanked us for coming back, but to be honest, the only time we really see each other anymore is, you know, now
Here.
that we're coming here.
Yeah.
You know, we have it's up on the schedule board with all the other things that we have to do, and we know that we have to carve out time for it, but
But what that shows me is that you guys are prioritizing that time. You guys are, and even though you are in couples counseling, you're still utilizing this time to reconnect and create that bond with one another. So that shows that you guys do share a common goal with one another, and that's prioritizing the relationship. That's finding ways to reconnect and build with one another. So that counts for something, you know,
Yeah.
whether it's here or whether it's on a Friday night where you're going out to the movies. You're still carving out that
God,
time
when was the last time we actually went to a movie?
I don't remember Toy Story 2 maybe.
with the kids.
Yeah. What are they on? Like Toy Story 5 now or
I
something?
believe it's 4.
Yeah,
Andy,
so see
Andy goes to college.
Yeah, Andy's in college. When
yeah,
when I
that's
started
how
watching it,
much
Andy was-
he's grown up.
I think Andy was like 8 when I started watching.
That might be be the last time we saw.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's how long it's been. I mean, I don't know, it's not, because I don't want Jon to feel like he's not a priority. He
Yeah.
is my priority, that's why we're here, but I feel like we just, you know, myself included, we're giving 100% of ourselves to everything else, and because that we can't give 100% to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels a lot like in the beginning, we struggled so hard to get somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You struggle to like find ways to, you know, pay your bills, and then you struggle with like, oh, we want to buy a house, and then you struggle with, ooh, now our mortgage is way more than our rent was, and coming up into that. But I mean, school's done, promotions, experience, like it's been a number of years. You're like, we got this.
Yeah.
And it's almost like that struggle was part of what kept us going, you know? So now that we're in a good place, we're like, we're okay financially. We can make our mortgage payment. Like, we've got our home routine pretty much done.
And I feel like even though like we said, we're not miserable, but I feel like I find myself getting more mad at him for the little things than I used to, you know, like when I come home and he can't just like wipe off the stove after dinner, and it's so little and it's not a big deal, but now I'm pissed off and I'm mad at him, and sometimes it's like I have a hard time finding, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way because that's why we're here, but the reasons that I love him, you know, because we don't have those days anymore where we laugh and enjoy each other, and more often than not when I come home, how was work? Fine. How was your day? Fine. And I get it. He's had a rough day, and so I try not to push, and I know it's not intentional. He's not, you know, but when you have a long day, I'm sure there's been plenty of days where I've given him the same reaction.
I mean, if you don't mind me interjecting, I just want to touch on the fact that you both are very accountable, and it appears that you guys still share that respect for one another. You understand that although he may have not wiped off the stove, but he did have a long day, as did you. And the fact that you guys are both accountable for your behaviors and you want to work consistently towards changing them, that's a great stepping stone.
Yeah, she's not, there's nothing like wrong.
Yeah.
I don't feel put out or put down. I just feel like we laugh about stuff, but it just feels like, yeah, I mean, it's not like we used to. It just kind of feels like our gas tank's a little empty right now, and it's not. Rather than, I think we're both clear on the fact that we are in it to win it. We don't want to get divorced or anything,
No,
but like,
we're not there yet.
you know, mix it up or.
Yeah, of course. It's difficult when your core focus has been on building that life together. You've poured all of this energy into, you know, accomplishing these achievements, working towards, I mean, you guys sound like you guys have always shared one common goal, which is also really wonderful, you know, and you put all this energy into working towards that, and now you're kind of at this place where you've crushed all these achievements, and now you're trying to figure out who you guys are as a couple again.
What's next?
And that's okay, and that happens to everyone, you know, being complacent and finding yourself in that stagnant place, and that you guys are here to figure out how to reconnect with one another and to figure out who Jon and Gabby are as a couple and as individuals as well. You know, you guys get so tied up with being mom, dad, employee, and soccer coach, and this and that, and, you know, but now, you know, it's great that you guys want to pour that energy into one another as a couple, and, you know, we're here to figure that out together as a team, so.
You know, we've tried the whole, like, go out on a date thing, too,
Yeah,
you know,
scheduling
like,
date night, and
Yeah.
get dressed up, and
yeah.
and we just kind of sit at dinner in the same way that we'd sit at dinner
Because
at home.
it feels like something on the calendar.
Yeah, like
you know,
therapy.
Yeah.
Like Friday at 6, we're going out on a date, time away. Well, I mean,
Sometimes
great
it can feel like
at
it's
dinner,
like-
but there's no.
I don't find
it's
myself walking around going, "Oh, I have a date tonight."
Yeah,
I find myself going,
it's
"Oh,
pretty
I
much
can't."
like, where
Jon
are you
and I have
Friday?
plans, like-
Where are you Friday? There's no, like, back in the beginning, there was the sort of anticipation, apprehension. It's just there's got to be something. I don't know. It kind of feels like we're a little bit out of sync right now. Not in a bad way, but just kind of like.
Not in a good way.
But not in a good way.
Yeah. You know, and I feel like it's kind of been that way for a while. Like when one of us is on, the other one is off. If that makes sense. Like
Of course.
if John's having a good week, I'm usually having a rough week. So he's coming home like, hey, how was work? Tell me about your day. Why don't we go out tonight? You know, let's call your mom and see if she'll watch the kids. And I'm like, I'd rather stay at home. And then the next week I come home in that mood, and John's, you know, in the mood that I was in. And so now we're just kind of doing this wash, rinse, repeat of, we always think the other person's miserable when really we're both kind of miserable, but we're not miserable with each other. We're just miserable with complacency of life.
And then it's like, sometimes it just feels hard. Like, let's go out. There's been a couple times where she's like, you know what, I could really use a drink. And I'm like, let's just go downstairs to, you know, we've got that bar set up, so like, let's just go pour a drink. And she's like, yeah, you know, I need like a little something different. And when she says different, it just feels like, not different in a, I don't feel slighted. It just sometimes feels like a huge effort to get up and go sit in a restaurant to have a drink when you could like,
so you gotta you gotta take off your PJ
like,
pants.
let's sit on the porch with a couple of glasses of wine or whatever. So sometimes it feels like we both, like you said, we want the same thing, but I don't know, we're not kind of meeting in the middle about it.
We're not content in our contentment.
Yeah,
neither of us want to put in that extra effort, but also we don't want to, like, if that makes sense, we want to put in the extra effort, but we don't want to put in the extra effort.
She gives and I either miss it or I don't want, I'm just not in it in the moment. And I come up with something and it's like, you know, like take a nap.
You guys both shared with me in the intake that you both have college degrees, correct?
Yeah.
You both have your masters?
Yeah.
So when you guys first started out with school, right, did you kind of have it all figured out? No, you didn't really know how you were going to get from point A to point B, right?
No, and I feel like there was like excitement in that though.
Yeah, in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Just as a relationship though, in the beginning. But sometimes we don't exactly know how we're going to get to that goal. We just know that no matter what, we're going to get there. But what do we do during it? We figure it out. We figure out different ways. We figure out how to integrate this back into our schedule. We learn how to adjust. We learn different things. You know, because some days, how many days did you not want to do that assignment, attend school?
True.
But you prioritized it, and with consistency, you started to adjust to that transition.
Eventually, it wasn't so horrible to do.
Do you remember that horrible assessment class we took?
Oh my god, and she made us spend like 6 freaking hours
doing all that testing
on a stupid assessment that we were never going to use in our careers.
Yeah, and it was just dull, and
it was
we would
miserable.
Remember how we used to talk about how miserable it was, and the work itself was, we just didn't want to do the work because it was, I mean, it was easy work, but it was more fun to like
make fun of it.
Make like, you know,
make jokes.
Well, that sounds like a commonality shared between the two of you.
Yeah.
Well, our commonalities are pretty good. I mean, we have pretty similar points of view, and I think we both don't want to. It's not that we're at a point where we're like, I just can't stand you anymore, but we both don't want to go through any more time.
We don't want to get
with
to that
this whole like.
Yeah. Because then next thing you know, you are at that point where you're like, I can't fucking stand. If you don't clean off that stove one more goddamn time, like, I'm moving in with my mom. We don't want to get there.
I really, you know, and I don't want someone to come along who can provide something that I don't in some way. And not that I think that she would, but if your ship sails solid, then even if a storm comes, then you can, you know, you're balancing on that. So I don't want to lose out for something that I'm not doing. So
that's a valid concern.
You know, it's important for me to understand that.
Why I would assume those people, you know, run off with someone else. Not that I want to, or I would, or it's a thought in my mind. I'm just making it.
Do you guys feel like finding the time for date night is, would you say, one of your most difficult things to do?
Not really.
I think we're at a point now where we're trying to find the things about each other that we enjoy.
Why you want to have that
date
like
night. Why was date night so fun 3-4 years ago, and now date night seems like a chore.
Yeah,
What's going
bringing
on?
back like the mystique about it,
Of
like
course.
not even the just making it meaningful. We can go out on a date, like you
Anytime.
want to go to dinner after we get out of here? Sure.
Yeah.
But so we go to like whatever, Teddy G's, the 99, wherever we're going, and the food's good and we can go have a good meal and hang out, but like in the beginning we could go somewhere we'd been a million times before and it felt different.
Yeah. So it's just finding that conversation to have with one another, the want to have those conversations, reinstilling the fun back into those relationships. So it sounds like it's something that you guys really need to explore is what originally brought you guys together. What you love about one another versus what may irritate you or, things of that nature. So I think that would be a good starting point for you guys to really start focusing on, what you guys love about one another, what you guys enjoy about one another. I think it's easy to, how long you guys been married?
Oh God, a million years?
Feels like it.
20, how old am I now? Like 23
Yeah, I was basically an infant when we got together.
So you guys
Yeah.
have been together for a long time, but that
Yeah.
shows consistency, that shows effort, that shows determination, and it shows the ability to stay the course and stick with it.
It's got to be
which
a
is
way that
great
people
attribute.
stay together for so long.
It's not about resentment or anything. I just don't want it to turn into that.
Absolutely.
And I think it's wonderful that you guys are both aware of that and you guys are trying to work again consistently towards figuring things out together as a team.
So how do we even, but that's like the thing, how do we even go about doing that? Because I feel like on multiple occasions, John's come to me and said, I really like it when you surprise me with my favorite cake from the store. And I do, but because I don't know, like it doesn't seem ever like enough. Or I tell John, I really love it when you tell me that I'm pretty because I put a little extra effort into my hair, my outfit. And he does, but again, like it never feels or seems like enough. So how do we
It
find
almost
those
seems
things
like
again?
you have to tell the other person, hey, I want you to surprise me with a cake so that I feel special.
Surprised.
You know what I mean?
Excited,
Almost wondering if the other person remembers these things, or you could use a little za in your life and you kind of have to tell that person. So maybe part of it's about communication in such a way where she doesn't feel obligated.
Of course.
Like
And that he
the
doesn't
cake
feel
the cake thing I've said, and it's like she brought me the cake. Thanks for the cake, but you brought me the cake. I feel like because I said something about cake. Like cake is a euphemism, for.
Bless you.
Sorry, are we boring you?
That was almost a sneeze, John. I assure you, I'm not bored.
I know,
Very
we're
much
not one of
so.
those couples that comes in here screaming, fighting with
Yeah,
each
sorry,
other,
we don't have
but-
more problems for you.
No, it's not about having problems. I'm really happy to have you guys here. You guys seem like a really great couple.
Yeah,
I
well,
love
we
that
used
you guys
to,
share those
you
common
know,
interests.
We used
They
to be
were-
that couple everyone wanted to be, hashtag
but-
couple goals, that's what the
but
kids
too,
say.
we would, and I have to tell you, part of the early was we made it through some struggles. We made it through some things.
Yeah,
like-
let's say school was not easy.
Yeah.
So where's the drama that,
Sometimes I
brings
think
us
we need
together?
it. Sometimes I think you need a little bit of that, like, screaming, running, crying, don't go kind of drama, Like, the rain's falling down and
mean-
you're like, tell me to come in the house.
Mhm.
Tell me you love me.
Routine can breed boredom sometimes.
Yeah, that's what it
You know,
feels
that
like.
is a real
I
thing.
mean, I'm about to excuse myself to go grab a napkin so I can wipe my nose if you want to run and scream after me, don't go.
Okay,
Like,
ready?
we could do that.
1, 2, 3.
Some role playing.
Don't go. Come back.
I would never leave you.
If we were Jack and Rose on the Titanic, for sure he'd let me drown.
I'm sure he would not let you drown.
He'd be like, "Yeah, sure, I'll hop right up on there and we'll fit you on." And then I'd be like, "No, don't worry about it." And he'd be like, "Good, my shoes are gonna get wet."
I'm sure that's an irrational thought because I'm sure if you put more thought into that,
Well, it would
there's
be
many
funny.
things you
That's
can
why
come up
he
where
would do
John
it.
has.
Well, let's be honest.
saved
They
you
could have
from a
both. They
situation.
could have both fit on that piece of wood. So he'd be doing it more for the humor of it all than because I don't actually fit.
Well, it sounds like you guys both have a really good sense of humor.
I like to think that we do, but I don't know.
I think you guys do. You guys are very
but if we,
entertaining.
but I kind of feel like if she was on the door, and I was like, "Let me on the door," and she's like, "Okay, you can get on the door," I'd be like, "She only let me up there because I said I wanted to get up there."
Yeah.
You know, we have a little.
I'm like, well, it was fine up here without you.
I mean, I just got comfortable.
Can we
Anyway,
take a nap though?
anyway.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. You guys are laughing together. This is good.
We're good.
This is
We're
good
good.
energy to be sharing between
This
one
is
another.
more excitement than we had on the last date night we had.
Well, I'm
so.
glad that I can be a part of creating the dialogue that's, so entertaining right now.
Yeah.
But for both of you guys, John, what's your goal? What are your expectations? What are you really looking to get out of this?
Like I've said to you, just I don't want to be doing something either, and I wouldn't say intentionally, but like inadvertently, or maybe I've forgotten something or missed a cue, or some part of me has somehow made me unaware, I guess. I just feel like I'm not doing her a disservice. I'm not a bad guy. I don't treat her poorly, but there's that part of the relationship that deserves like the intimacy almost.
That fire burning
You know?
aspect.
And I just kind of feel like we've overcome so much, and we were so busy proving for a long time that we needed to do this thing,
Yeah.
that we've got this, but now it's about learning how to better tune in, because 20 years ago it was all sex and like excitement and passion and
now it's like
and
we're
struggle.
lucky if we do it, every other Tuesday.
Yeah, so I feel like that piece of our relationship, we just need a little bit of, I mean, I need to understand better who she is now, all these years later.
So would it be safe to say that your goal is to reconnect, and maybe a fear would be that if you don't reconnect, that you would be potentially pushing her away?
I agree with the first part, reconnecting, but I don't think I'd be pushing her away. I just think that her attention would be drawn elsewhere.
Okay.
Almost like, because she knows what she wants and what she doesn't, and it's always been easy for her to say yes and no.
Yeah. Well,
And she's committed either way. Yeah, she's committed either way, so while she's never put down her foot and said, "You must love me and pay attention to me," it's my obligation as her partner, her husband, all of these things to really, and I want to.
Yeah.
But 20 years later, like, you pick your head up from the struggle, who am I looking at?
Yeah.
And I get the sense of it, but there are pieces that I need to learn about, and so I need to get some schooling in.
Well, thank you for helping me better understand that. What about you, Gabby?
I feel like it's such a loaded question because there's no answer that you can say that doesn't, I guess, sound harsh.
But that's
Because we're not here to, because things are bad. So I guess whatever I do say, don't want it to come off as poor.
Well, if it does, you can always explain it further.
Look, I don't think you're going to judge me or anything, but since we both made this decision to be here, if there's things that I need to understand, as long as you're not like, like intentionally destructive, I think a little
respectful and mindful.
I think my main goal is for us, because it's not like we aren't in love, and it's not like we've fallen out of love, but I think we're teetering on that line of why do we love each other? I don't think we know anymore. As you grow and you change as people, every year, every 6 months, every 3 months, you need to reconnect with each other and refine why you love each other. And I think that we're on that line of, if we don't figure it out soon, we could potentially fall out of love, and I'd hate to see that happen. We've built far too much for that to happen, and we clearly love each other. We're still here. We're still doing the motions, and we don't hate each other for it.
Yeah, but I don't want to be that coexisting. Have you ever seen? You probably met a couple or two that just coexist.
Absolutely.
They're like, "This is my wife," but wife is like a title, and it doesn't really
the
mean
impact
anything.
and magnitude behind it isn't as substantial as it used to be.
Yeah, just that excitement of it all.
I mean, relationship maintenance is necessary. Everything needs maintenance. Cars need maintenance. Amusement parks need maintenance. The body needs maintenance. The mind needs maintenance.
I just don't want her to be an
fair.
accessory. I wanted to. I wanted to.
And I think that that's wonderful that you want her that wife word to mean something.
Of course.
Have that
And then the
substantial
same
meaning
for
behind
him,
it, and the
obviously.
feelings that go with it.
You want the wife word to mean something for me too?
Yeah, you're the most beautiful wife I've ever seen.
I love it when you call me pretty.
You know, stuff like that.
Well, I was planning on doing an exercise with you guys. I
Okay.
hope you guys enjoy playing games.
It's been a while since we've had a game night.
Well, here we go. We're gonna have one today together.
All right.
I'm the Jenga master, just so you all know.
We get a little bit competitive. Are you competitive as well, John?
It's been 23 years. I've learned not to speak to that topic because you want to talk about igniting somebody's fire. She turns into, I appreciate and respect you, honey, to I will crush your soul.
Yeah.
Mindful response.
They say that quote, happy wife, happy life, wife always wins. That's not the case with me. It's just, that's who I am as a person.
Yeah.
It could, no matter if I was his wife, his husband, his daughter, his mother,
Just
I'd still win.
competitive in nature.
I'd still win. Can I set it up? Is it already set up?
Yes, you are the Jenga master, so I will leave
Jenga
that
master to the win, friends.
to you. You said you were the Jenga master.
I didn't know. Okay, we're gonna have to do this the hard way. I don't know why it's stuck. It's your game.
Well, I'm not a Jenga master, so I'm glad that I have your assistance because probably wouldn't be going as well.
It's your game. Do you want to explain to us while I set it up?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is basically this is relationship building. You guys right now obviously need to focus on what brought you guys together as a couple, what you guys love about one another. But first it gets a little heavy. So initially what we're going to do is there we go, excellent.
Thank you.
You are going to be taking away the pieces. And as you take away the pieces, this is going to be something that you want to change right now. I want to change that we don't have date night, as an example.
Can we change things about ourselves and about, like, us as a couple? Like, individually and as a couple?
I think absolutely. This is
Okay.
your game, and I want you guys to take from it what you want to take from it.
So as we
you can
remove
tailor it.
things, what are you asking us to do?
So as you remove things, you're going to vocalize your wants, like what you want to change in that relationship, or what Gabby just said is, absolutely fine in
Things we're
regards to
gonna
the
get rid of.
relationship. Yeah, so as you take it away, it's the object of showing that we're addressing these things, you're owning that, we're vocalizing it to one another and communicating it.
Okay.
And then once we get all the way down to the end, whether it falls or not, we have the ability to rebuild it. But this time when you rebuild it, you guys are going to add things that you love about one another.
Oh, I see.
Past, present, future, whatever. And you can tailor it to you. If it's
John's
a
much
memory
more
that you
thoughtful
want,
than me.
yeah,
so
if it's a
he'll probably be better
memory
at
that you want to
part.
share too, it doesn't have to be
Oh, I
so
get
tied
it.
to those
I
things.
get it. So you're saying, like, as we take all these things away, if we have too many wants and needs that go unaddressed, it could all fall down.
Exactly.
I hear you.
Exactly. And then as we rebuild, we're focusing on things that we love about one another. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an attribute or a characteristic. You can share a wonderful memory that you've had with one another, things that you love to do with one another. Switch it up
Sure.
as you please.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. First try. Alright, I'm gonna start with a selfish one. Something I want to get rid of about myself is that I don't have enough patience with you. So I would like to get rid of that.
If you guys don't mind too, I'm just going to take notes as you guys talk.
Yeah.
Sure.
Then we build it up at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's
This is
symbolic for the
like-
ability that you guys always have that opportunity to
Look,
rebuild.
this is how complacent we are. You can't move any of them.
Yeah.
We're way too stuck in our ways here.
Yo. This. I'm gonna go with a different one because this one's easier to take out. I was trying to go a little deep there. One need that I have is to better understand your needs now as as the other person in this relationship, and not the stuff I'm talking about, the stuff that's entirely you. You know, in the Venn diagram, the piece that's just you, not us. Because you're a whole person, and I feel like after all these years, it's not that I don't know. It's just important for me to kind of understand that.
That's a
That
good
was
one.
good.
In the top section here. Something I want to get rid of is, I guess, how much selfish time I spend with myself when I could be spending more time with John.
And I will counter that and add to that and say, one thing I want to get rid of is the automatic sense of, like, the excuses that I give that come from, that sort of have programmed this.
That robotic response.
God, I had a 9-hour day of just, like, I just need time to sit down. Not today, and not today becomes every day.
Yeah.
Every day, yeah, that's right.
I think that that's really important. Those routine responses can
Cause all the problems.
that they can.
I would like to get rid of, for us, the complacency.
Absolutely.
He's taking it easy. He wants to win over here.
I'm not trying to win, I'm just trying to demonstrate my ability to participate in this activity.
Well, we appreciate your participation, John.
One thing I need is
You can take your time. Sometimes it's, it's not easy to dig deep and really think about these things, and vocalizing them can sometimes be the most difficult thing.
yeah, one thing I need is for us to consider moving to a smaller house so that we have, while on the surface it's less for us to take care of, but let's create the intimacy with a smaller space.
Okay. So then I challenge you with that too. If we have the discussion about a smaller house, then we can probably afford a maid. So I want to get rid of my thought that we can't afford a maid.
Yay.
Anyway, compromise is being created.
If we're going to entertain this discussion about moving to a smaller house, need you to tell me what kind of life you would like us to build in a new place, because moving is often like turning the page.
Okay.
And we could consider this a new start.
Okay.
Relationship rebuilding.
Then what I need from you is
My credit score?
yes,
That's essential.
but your open-mindedness about maybe getting a pet, because now that the kids are all gone and out of the house, I need something to take care of. That isn't just you.
I need it not to be a cat.
But we're still compromising, right?
Then
She
I
wants
would
it.
like to get rid of my thoughts of a cat.
That's very considerate of you, Gabby. That was a good one.
We have a steady hand. We're in the wrong business. We should have been doctors.
Right.
You guys are very good at Jenga.
I want a date night that is so validating, so important, that it starts off this amazing journey, because it sounds like we both want to change our life. So I think we should consider taking part of planning in and going back in time a little bit and going on that honeymoon we never got the chance to do because we were so busy struggling.
John, I think that's amazing. I think that's a wonderful idea.
Getting rid of these bottom core pieces.
Going
here.
back to the pre-complacent days, right?
Yeah,
Kinda
I
like
would
going back in
like
time machine.
to get rid of the thought process that work is the most important thing during the day, so we can focus on those other things that we need.
Mm-hmm.
The suspense watching that
I
being
know.
removed is intense.
I would like to get rid of
you say the one cat we do have.
No,
Or the
I
children.
mean, well, the children are going to run around. I want to get rid of this idea that we're good and begin to think about it as we are growing, changing together.
You're in a transition phase.
But not in a negative way. Like we're growing. We have the ability to adapt to our surroundings and kind of on top. So I'd like to get rid of the stagnation thoughts.
Shifting perspective. Key. That was wonderful, John.
I would like to get rid of. This one's gonna be more material, okay? A little less deep.
We're about to get rid of our house, so bring it
All
on.
the shit in the freaking basement that's your mother's that you don't want to get rid of because she's still alive. She's not dead. We can get rid of it. She's never gonna know.
I would like to get rid of the need to tell my mother that we're about to dump all her shit from the basement. And if she asks about it, maybe we can stage a flood. A big flood. Oh, sorry, Mom, your stuff got wet.
I think that would be a fun little thing that you guys could do.
I'll even let you hold the hose.
Okay, perfect.
Flood your basement before selling your house.
I would like to get rid of feeling like the house is empty without the children. Because we did it without them for so long.
Learning to fill up those spaces.
I think we could talk about a new house. I think we could.
Yeah.
If we had a smaller house that was just ours.
I think that's also a great
then we
idea.
tell the
Less
kids that
space.
they can't stay with us on Christmas.
Who says we're going to give them our address? We paid for your college. Be gone with you.
Be done.
Be gone, children.
Oh my goodness.
I need to see how you're going to get another block out without burning this whole thing down.
I would say you guys made it relatively far. You still keeping a pretty stable foundation instead
We're running
of
out of
removing all of these things.
the good blocks. You took all the good blocks.
That's okay. Once they're removed, and even if it crashes down, you guys can pick up those pieces together and rebuild it.
I need you to lose this game of Jenga so I can feel like the winner.
We can discuss that in depth at a further session.
Oh,
I don't know, your husband is pretty skilled.
I need
at
you to not have that same need about our relationship where we're in competition to win something.
okay.
That's a great point.
I take that. Oh, sweet Jesus. I want to close my eyes because I just feel it. Oh. Woo! This has been a tough one.
I think you guys are doing wonderful, actually.
We make a good team
You
sometimes.
guys do make a team.
I thought you were going to put a piece back in and I was like, settle down, that's cheating.
You guys are still all set.
Your need?
Oh, sorry, we're thinking about me. I need for us, when we do get in those big fights, to be more thoughtful about our words before we say them.
Yes.
important.
You can't, and don't pull from the top, that's not fair.
Oh.
Right, I thought you were going to pull this one. I was like, that's not fair.
I need
Puts it back on, the whole thing
Yeah.
tumbles.
I need us to have to take some time with Ashlee and come up with some safe vocabulary
Yeah.
where we can begin to transition those disagreements into conversations.
I like
So
that
that we
emails.
know how to, not even fair fight, but like when all the heat is done and one of us wants to bring it to a place of conversation, that these words let the other person know, even through all the whatever, that it's time for us to sit down and talk.
That's a great idea, John.
I need. Oh no. Oh my gosh, none of this is right.
I'll help you.
need.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh, I need for this Jenga thing to topple. Otherwise, Ashlee's never gonna be able to rebuild it with us.
And since we did that together, I think that's a perfect time to say, I need you, and I think you need me too.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at you
You
guys.
so romantic. Oh, what are we gonna pull from now? It's gonna topple now. Unless I can take this one.
It looks like you guys both enjoy games, and this has created a lot of dialogue for conversation. So maybe this is something that you can integrate into a date night. You guys have a lot to talk about right now.
I think now you're doing it just to prove a point.
Yeah, it's gonna topple. Can't do it.
Sometimes the risk is worth the reward, right?
Oh.
I'm extremely impressed. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm extremely
impressed. I really am.
I don't know.
All right. Now you need to tell me something that you mean.
I need a second session because we're not gonna have time to rebuild.
I am very, very impressed. I did cut out a few more minutes for you guys for an extra session because of this exercise. So.
Okay.
Well, I think it's pretty clear.
You can't pull from anywhere. It's going down.
I think we've pretty much set aside our needs, and look how much is left, and we're still standing, even with all these things.
And I think it's pretty clear. Jon doesn't want to make this fall over.
You pulled so much, and you guys are still stable. You
I
guys
know.
still have, and even though things get
Look
a little
at this
unsteady
metaphor.
sometimes, you guys are still stable. But you guys want to rebuild right now because you're in that transitional phase. So you guys have the ability to knock this right over.
Knock it over, Jon.
And rebuild it.
Let's get that house. Knock it over.
What if we tried to put it back together? Oh, well, we can't put the same thing back together.
Because you're rebuilding. You're
so why don't we start with the pieces we have, and then we'll start picking from the top.
Okay.
So I love when Jon sings in the shower.
She loves my
Does Jon have a good voice?
No.
That's a in agreement.
I love when you do the laundry and actually fold it.
Yeah. Doesn't happen often. I love when you put the laundry in the laundry basket.
I love when we sit down and watch Clueless together, and because it's your favorite movie and you mouth all those lines, and you don't think I notice you doing it, but you do it every time.
I love how you'll watch all the corny romance movies with me and never make me feel bad about it.
I love that she hasn't figured out that I too love those corny romance movies, and that I watch them for me too. Okay, hashtag say anything.
Learning
so
something
good.
new about one another, right?
I love when you cook steak on the weekend, and I didn't expect that you were going to do it because it's so good.
Good cook, great quality.
I love that you are good with us not having a cat after this one goes.
I love that you make me feel like I don't need a cat after this one goes.
I love that you have such strong boundaries with Mother, and that you're cool with,
The fact that you're a mama's boy.
Yeah.
I love that you're
Acceptance.
a good father.
I love that our children are as strong-willed as you are.
Thank you.
Beautiful quality to have.
I love that our children learned how to cook from you because they didn't get it from me.
I love that they know how to cook because...
In agreement once again.
I love that you never make the bathroom a messy place to be because that would drive me crazy.
Apparently the sink's another issue.
No, the stove is another issue.
I love that picture of you that the photographer took on our wedding day when you weren't expecting it. That reminds me of just how radiant you are from the inside.
The one like
That's the one.
I love the home videos of you and the children from Christmas 1996.
Wonderful memories.
I do not love my hairstyle.
John, I assure you, no one at that time loved their hairstyle.
You know what? I
Mullets weren't exactly
loved
anyone's
that
favorite.
hairstyle, and if
Okay.
it makes a comeback, I wouldn't be upset.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm gonna cut right to the chase and say, I love the fact that we just solidified our foundation, and on top of everything that we're going through, we're still gonna grow. It's gonna show. Way to go, us. High
Is this the
five.
singing that you're referring to?
Yeah. I love
Your wife loves you,
that.
John, I assure you.
Even though this is not the most fun thing we'd rather be doing on a Monday night, we will come back next Monday and do it again.
Honestly, you guys are amazing. And that was wonderful.
Ta-da!
And you took my
Here we
exercise and you integrated things that, you know, were personally connected to you guys, and that was wonderful. That was wonderful.
Well, if you look at it, we're kind of each other's backbone,
Sure
and
was.
you know.
Now my inner Virgo is going to clean this up for you.
But that shows the beauty of look at how you guys are rebuilding, but you're not exactly changing everything. You're taking the old and you're integrating it into the new.
I
And
love
you're
that.
still growing together.
John, he's the most metaphorical man you'll ever did meet. So
Absolutely.
But I'm good at it.
yes, he is.
Your
She
metaphors
often
are
says she
impressive.
wishes she has a little John to carry around in her pocket.
I do
So when
love
she
pocket
needs
John.
when she needs some motivation, when
A
she
metaphor or
needs
an analogy or something.
some,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you just see him little pop up.
Well, I would love to have you guys back next Monday night again for a session.
We'll be here.
We will.
Excellent. Well, guys, this
We'll
was a
probably
great
still be
session.
married.
Good.
Yeah, chances are.
Well, I really enjoyed you guys' company, and I will say this. A lot of my couples have done this exercise. I assure you, this was the best version of it.
We know.
You guys
Yeah,
did
we
wonderful.
kind of are really good at that.
Excellent teamwork. All right, guys. But it was
Oh,
wonderful to
sorry.
have you guys, and I will see you guys next Monday.
See you next
Bye.
Monday.
Bye.
Have a good one, guys.
Too.